So, for those of you who, yeah, I'm sure that you couldn't hear all of what was said, so it is, you know, there were words that I said that I don't know what they meant, and that's just kind of what comes out when I do this type of work. So, but thank you for bearing witness to that. And does anybody notice any difference in the stone? And no is a totally appropriate answer. From before to after the work.
Mine started dancing, and it hadn't danced before. Before it was saying it was a working stone, it was hard working, and it had done all these things. And the minute you started talking to it, it just started and gave it back to me. It was dancing. So,
mine feels lighter.
yeah, well, a dancing stone is unique to behold and to hold on to.
I feel a little awkward with mine now.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Okay.
I don't like jumping.
You feel what with yours?
Awkward.
Awkward.
Like it knows something you don't? Or?
Yes. Pretty much. You know that feeling on a first date when like you run out of things to talk about?
It's been a long time.
But the meal's not over.
That awkward silent moment.
But you want to stay there. That's
Because you know there's more, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how it
Okay,
feels.
and Monica, I'm really glad that, you know, you're able to share that. That answers your question along with other conversations you've listened to. So, thank you. Thank you for that. Okay, would anybody else like to share anything?
I don't know that the stone feels different. I feel different about the stone. And it seems a little older and a little more solid. It's I feel like the relationship is different.
Mm-hmm. Sort of similar to Dean's.
Gloria, you're not saying anything.
There's like this kind of warm vibration. I guess maybe because I've been holding it cupped in my hands. But then when I looked at it, there's like 2 owls now.
Wisdom coming in.
I would say some fog has been lifted about the stones.
Yeah.
Anything with you, Mike?
There's deeper energetic presence within the rock.
Basically what this process does is it amplifies the frequency of the spirit inside the stone. It wakes it up a little bit. And these stones, as I said, these are yours. It's not that they are your possession. They're now your friends. They're now your partners. They're now both your students and your teachers. You'll learn about each other, and they will help teach you stillness. If things are being stressful, hold your stone. Ask it questions. Ask it to, to clear up something. Ask it to help you to find clarity. If you can't slow your thoughts down, ask it to help you, to show it to you. Then just allow yourself to get quiet and listen. Match the stone. Even if it's nothing more than, gee, I wonder what it'd be like to be a stone, and pretend that you're a stone. But it's through that we're able to take those first steps into being able to connect with the natural world. We start with the stillness and then move up. And as you become more comfortable with going into that still place, that's when things like trees that have also a very steady, stable energy, yet they have more vitality and activity than a stone would. And you'll notice different types of stones. These are river stones, so their whole energetic is about things moving past, about detaching, about not allowing anything to hang on that doesn't serve. It would be a different experience with a lava stone. that came from fire, that is about both the aspects of creation and destruction, there'd be more of a vibrancy to it, more of an intensity to it. You know, they're about, you know, building and bending things to, you know, to the environment. You know, lava just comes in and covers. It takes over. It plants itself, and then it, you know, just builds up from there. There's stability in it, as opposed to that gentle letting go. So experience different stones. Take a look at your relationship with the natural world around you. Maybe you've got plants in your apartment. You know, have you ever actually sat with your plant? Place your fingers in the soil. Imagine what it'd be like to be a plant.
I wouldn't want
for a
to be
minute.
my plant. Every plant I've ever had died.
I'm the
Well, that
same
one's
way.
plastic, so that one would be all right for you.
No, you're not plastic, are you? But
Artificial plant.
Just saying.
and I know I had somebody, you know, my adopted mom. She is a whiz with plants. I mean, she carries the heart of Costa Rica within her.
Some people
And
are
she
just-
actually had someone say, well, can you take a look at my plant and see what you'd recommend? And she looked and she goes, I'd recommend dusting it. It's fake.
Oh.
And she said, well, are you sure you can't do anything? She goes, I'm good, but I'm not that good. So actually, there may be a reason for that. Plants, what they do is, you know, they are very good at taking on energy. Anybody who has seen my office knows that I have a lot of plants in my office because they contribute to the healing. They hold that space. They can draw stuff, you know, from people. And there are times when my plants have to get retired, that they can't deal with the energy anymore. And I have 4 plants that I have had for close to 11 years. And they're very good, they're very stable. But some of the other plants, you know, they can't take that much pressure. And so, you know, they stay with me for a while, they help as much as they can. So it may be that these plants have been trying to help you. They've been trying to draw some of the pain out of you. They've been trying to, and they do that voluntarily. Don't feel bad, because that's what they do. When you chose that plant, that was a spiritual agreement. And they wanted to help you. And because they don't attach to life or death, because everything is about renewal, it wasn't a bad thing for them. It actually gave them purpose. It was an agreement. So don't feel bad about it. Your relationships with plants may change as you start to relax around them, as you don't feel like, you know, you're going to do anything to them. There are some very hardy plants that, if you would like, I can find you some nice hardy plants that are very resistant to energy and can be very just kind of stable plants that would be good for you. Would you like that?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get you started basic. I'll talk to a few. We'll find you one that goes, oh yeah, go ahead, bring him on! But understand that that's also a healing aspect. When we do ceremonies, often we'll have cut flowers. And what they do is they absorb energy. And, I mean, you know, most of the time if you get roses, they'll usually last like, you know, at least, you know, maybe 4 or 5 days. You know, somebody gives you roses, you put them in a vase, and for 4 or 5 days they're still up. I have had cases where roses that were just beginning to bud were brought into a healing ceremony, and because of the amount of you know, energy they took on from the person being healed, we have completely dead roses by the end of that afternoon. Wow. But it's not bad, because that's what, you know, that's their gift. They don't mind. They're not attached. They're okay with it, because we always ask. You know, whenever we have flowers in a ceremony, whenever I am, you know, dealing with anything, whether it's a stone, whether it's a plant, I explain to the plant what I would like it to do, and it tells me, yeah, I'm up for it, or I don't think so. And if it's I don't think so, it's like, well, thank you very much for your time, and then I go to another plant. So they don't think as we do. They don't attach as we do. They're not mad at you. You're not on some sort of plant, you know, most
Watch
wanted
list.
poster. You're on the plant watch list. No. They view it as you are another aspect of nature. And there is an energetic exchange that is meant to happen. We'll find you one that you can talk with that can be nice, basic, hearty, and that you won't kill. And we'll teach you how to be able to talk to each other and how to take care of it. Okay? All right. There's hope for you.
Yay! Go Dean!
Go, Dean! Alrighty. Does anybody have any questions? Comments? Let's see. Let's take a look over here.
Hello, neighbor.
Let's see. Deborah said that when you activated mine, they talked, quote, to me through my feelings. And yes, I'm glad you brought that up, Debbie, because, you know, empaths, people who are empathic, and there isn't anybody in this room who isn't, that can be a doorway to actually have a deeper relationship. And Dean's looking at me questioningly. Do you understand what I mean when I say empath?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Now, there is a consciousness in these. What you're feeling when you got it back and suddenly it was like, okay, now I feel awkward. That's because it was connecting with you energetically. It was connecting with you emotionally. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it can be a little weird to have something talk to you on that level. It's speaking to you on an energetic level where you're not accustomed to that. A lot of us are sort of accustomed to things talking to us on different levels. This is something that is still kind of new for you. And also, you're still kind of getting a handle on your own empathy. So, am I kind of right?
I don't know.
Yeah. That's okay. You don't have to. In fact, when you don't know, that's usually the best place to come from when you're learning something. You know, you can't pour something into a bowl that's full. So, you know, I know that this is a little bit different than a lot of the stuff that you've been exposed to, and I really, thumbs up, I applaud you. You are so plucky. You just, you know, you embrace all this new weirdness.
I'm plucky.
You're plucky. You are. I get that, and you're adorable. But I really love how you take all this stuff that's very new and you just go, oh, okay. And you just kind of, yeah, let me look at that. So that's a very cool quality that you have. And I think you and this stone are going to become very good friends. You're not going to keep feeling awkward with it. It's just she sees you, and you're not accustomed to being seen. You now have something that sees you in a way that you haven't been seen before. It's a part of you, and that means that it sees all of what's inside. But that's okay. You can trust her with it. She's a stone. She's not going anywhere with anything. And she'll comfort you. She'll give you help. If you're nervous about something, hold on to her and listen to what she tells you. So, cool. Alrighty. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. And this is going to be downloaded onto YouTube. And like I said, we will be back on Thursday for the regular program. And until then, as always, I wish you balance,